G'day, guys. Welcome to the Thunder from Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Graham Solomon, and thanks for joining us today. And as always, smash that heart button, smash that like button if you're watching on Facebook. Even if you're watching the replay, it spreads the love to our special guests that come in and give us their time and their knowledge. And also, I usually do a plug to go to the Graham Solomon Thunder from Down Under YouTube channel to subscribe and hit the bell icon. But today, we're going to direct you to thunderfromdownunderpodcast.com, which is on the ticker going across the screen. Go there, you get access to the tags, which have got the YouTube channel. You can subscribe. You can check out the website. We're just launching. There's a few things still got to be done, but go there and check it out. Become part of the family, and that's going to be the hub now for where the go-to place. So that's thunderfromdownunderpodcast.com. Be there and check it out. All right, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce our next guest, who I've known for a fair while now, and been watching his progress. He's Jeffrey League. He's from Offanook. He's predominantly a wholesaler, does some flipping. He's based in Memphis and dominates the Memphis market. He knows the Memphis market like the back of his hand. Does some other stuff in Nashville and Knoxville, Tennessee, but that's his stomping ground down there. So without further ado, I'll introduce Jeffrey. Jeffrey, thanks for coming into the podcast. It's awesome to have you in here.
Man, of course, it's been too long.
It's been a while, hasn't it? And
Yeah,
just for the audience, Jeffrey was in a group that I met him probably a year and a half to 2 years ago, and we sort of kept in contact, and we've sort of had contact, but probably it's been, I think both of us have been pretty busy the last sort of 6 months, so we've sort of haven't really had contact. But I wanted to get him on because what the topic's going to be today is basically going from a beginner to scaling. Because when I originally knew Jeffrey, he was pretty new, and he was grinding, he was out there hustling, doing his best, and I've sort of followed his transition and to a point where he scaled and built his business up to a really good wholesale business. So wanted to get him in for sort of like a real grassroots story and encourage people, especially people that are starting off, that if you stick at it, you can be like Jeffrey and you can build your business up. So Jeffrey, what I'll ask you to do is, so people get to know you, just tell us your backstory about how you actually, the decision to get into this wholesaling gig, when you heard about it, how you found out about it, and then basically your transition to today. Give us a bit of your backstory.
Cool deal. Well, here we go. So I was flat broke when I started wholesaling. I was just pretty much trying to find myself. And me and my dad, since my dad is an entrepreneur, I've always kind of like looked up to him and wanted to be like him. And it's my dad. So he sends me this course on real estate. I'm watching it. I'm like, this strategy requires credit. I don't got good credit. It requires money. I ain't got no money. Wholesaling. No credit, no money. No way. Let me look into this further. Oh, this is my golden ticket. So that was like probably December of 2019. I didn't take immediate action though. Just for the transparency, I took little baby steps, dibbled and dabbled for about a month. Like I would see how to get the probate and wouldn't call anybody. Honestly, the only reason why I actually took massive action was because someone else believed in me more than I believed in myself. And from that point forward, it was like all gas, no brakes, deep dive into studying, rigorous schedule, and driving for dollars, like calling every day, 6 days a week, driving for dollars like 5 days a week. Driving for dollars is really where I got my start as far as my first deal. When I start taking massive action, it was in 30 days, like from the point of massive action to a closed deal. So I was like, okay, this is it. This is it, you know. And from there, made several mistakes, but now I've been in mentorship and I've gotten that consistency. I've still, of course, made some mistakes along the way. It's not all rainbows and sunshine, but it's some pretty sunny days now. So that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah. So you got your first deal fairly quickly, did
Hmm.
you? Once you decided to switch on, you got that first deal, the monkey off your back
Hmm.
pretty early, did you?
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
Um,
sorry, no, go.
yeah. So it was like a driving for dollars deal. Um, and what I would do like back then, I didn't know anything about CRMs. All I had was a deal machine, and that was it. You know what I mean? So Excel spreadsheet, and I would color code. If I called you, if you answered, if you declined, if we were negotiating, it would be a different color code. And man, just consistently did that. Like I said, 6 days a week, and had something locked up and assigned and closed within 30 days.
So you got your first deal. How long did it take
Mhm.
to go from your first deal to your second and third deals? Was there a bit of a gap, or did you do it straight away? Did you
Oh,
manage?
major gap, major
It was a big
gap.
gap, was it?
Um, yeah. So it took about another 2 months to get that second and third deal. The second and third, those came quickly because after like a month, I was like, I'm not doing something right. Something's wrong. If I did this, there's got to be a way to repeat it consistently. So I was kind of looking at how we were driving for dollars, and we were adding a lot of fluff. So we transitioned into this house has to be. Can I cuss on here?
Uh, yeah, it
No.
depends
Yeah.
depends how far you go. We try and keep it as a family station.
I'm
We
gonna
try.
keep this. I'm gonna keep this PG 30 PG. We're gonna keep it
Yeah,
PG.
yeah, we'll keep it
All right,
PG.
all
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
all right. Great. Okay, so um, we were just fudging up. We were adding everything under the sun. If it was like just if it looked like it was not so well taken care of, and transitioning into more highly distressed looking properties, like it was like at least 3 points of distress, like whether it was overstuffed mailbox, um, the fascia was like messed up or had holes in it, and like a roof was just looks like it was 45 years old. Something like that. That's what we started adding, and then it was like bam,
Yeah.
bam, just it became yeah. So just small.
So once you actually sort of, I suppose they call it narrowed down to your
Mm-hmm.
avatar, and really,
Mm-hmm.
what do they call it?
Mm-hmm.
Spray and pray. You went from spray and pray to really
Yeah.
laser focusing. Then you started
Mm-hmm.
getting regular deals. Then you could basically, you know, like you said, you had the first deal there, and you just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to what do they call it? Rinse and repeat and learn a process. So you got to that
Mm-hmm.
point, and then so
Mm-hmm.
how long from the first deal to the point where you started getting a regular deal or deals per month? Because that's what everyone's goal is to go from a deal or two or three to at least getting one a month, two a month, back to one a month. You know what I mean? How long did that take to get to that point from
I mean, so once we made that tweak, it was almost immediate. Um,
immediate? Yep.
yeah, but those weren't like the biggest deals in the world though. So it wasn't like an immediate, okay, now I'm successful. It was like, okay, I made a change and now I have consistency. Now how can I have consistently bigger deals? Like that was the next step for us.
Yep, yep. So yeah, that
Mhm.
makes sense because you want to get the deals and you want to close the deals, and really you sort of
Mhm.
go, well, look, any money's good money, and then from there, once you get that
Yeah.
locked in, you go to the next stage and go, let's increase the money. So that makes a lot of
Mhm.
sense, especially to someone that's new, because it can be overwhelming, can't it? Like you would have faced that. There's so much stuff coming at you all the time. I think the last time I spoke to you on that other interview, which I think would have been over a year ago, you just
Mm-hmm.
signed up 6 deals, like 6 deals, and
Mm-hmm.
you'd done, I don't know
Oh
what you
yeah,
sell,
yeah, I
but
remember
yeah, you
that.
know what I mean. So
It was
you're
like
on
it was in
fire.
one
That
day. It was in one
that
day.
that was sort of
Yeah.
part of your scaling up. You sort of all of a sudden, and I know I talked to you after that, and you'd set up in an office, and you had a good, and you really turned it into a proper business then, because then you saw
Mm-hmm.
that this 6 deals in a week, we can really scale this. So um,
Mm-hmm.
just from when you started, like you said, you had your Driving for Dollars app, you had a couple of very basic things in. So systems, procedures, and that were pretty loose, were they, at that stage? They weren't. You had,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
There
So
was nothing documented.
yeah, which is like most people, you just do it on the fly. So what did you
Yeah.
do when you got to that stage with
Mhm.
um, you were able to to duplicate the system, and then you were signing
Mhm.
up more deals. What did you start putting in place? What were the things that you put in place that got you to that next level? As far as like systems, products,
So it was primary because it wasn't systems at that moment in time. It was like hustle and knowledge. You know,
Yep,
um, also some intuitive thinking because I got really good at pulling this. Like not like stupid large lists that it's gonna take you forever to go through. Like a list that's gonna perform well and perform well over time. You can consistently squeeze it. They like a little mini ATM machine to me. Like, because I
yeah,
honestly I
yeah,
skip trace data. I probably skip trace data maybe 2 or 3 times this year, and we're at like 38 deals for the year so far. So it's
yep,
like these are because
yeah,
at a certain point in time, especially for us, it was like, okay, man, it was pulling those lists, getting good at that, and figuring out, who do I need to be talking to. So, um, a while like around that time, I took Tyler Austin's course. I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't the data. It was the first one we had, and he talked about the seller avatar. I was like, who have I been getting houses from in Memphis? And I sat back, I thought about that, and when I would pull my list, I would pull my list based on like my average deal, per list. Um, and it's evolved over time. I've learned how to do it better and just have like a consistent schedule because, so I kind of have to say I don't skip trace, but I do because I still do pull foreclosures like on a daily basis, the ones that have an auction date. But that's just like 3 to 4 days a week because they put them online. So, but
yeah,
so yeah, like what really got some of that consistency that's gonna definitely gonna be the list pulling, learning how to do that well, and consistently marketing. Like
yeah.
with that
Which we'll jump.
marketing, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll jump onto the marketing, and
Mm-hmm.
tell us about. You believe marketing's like very important, obviously, to get the leads for the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all know that in the industry, but
Mm-hmm.
that's something that you really focused on. What
Mm-hmm.
what type of marketing were you doing at the time, and how did you really pimp up the marketing? How did you get? What did you do to get really good at the marketing, like over a period of time? Can you just run us through that, like your own
Mm-hmm.
marketing?
To get really good at it over time, I would have to say it's a mixture of a few things. One, having done a lot of sales training and implementing that language in the marketing piece because now we only text.
Yeah,
So I can control that so well, like at this stage. But in the beginning, I was cold calling myself, ended up hiring cold callers, scaling that to like 5 or 6 callers at once, and also doing SMS. But the in 20 tail end of 2021, my conversions on cold calling sucked. And I went to a freaking mastermind. This is like when I first really started getting into KPIs. So they were like, you have to tell us where your deals came from, how many you've done, average deal size. Like it was just a list of things I had never tracked before. So I was like, yeah, I don't even really want to go to this thing. But I did it. And I was sitting there embarrassed too. When I'm looking at these guys like up there presenting their business, I'm like, man, I don't want to present. This is embarrassing. You know? So after that experience, which was super painful, I was like, no, I want to go through that again. I kind of realized, like, looking at my numbers, I was sending out like 500 texts a day because I was just kind of playing with SMS back in 2021 and maybe doing it 3 days a week and getting one deal a month off of that, plus what my cold calling was doing. So that kind of opened my eyes and saying, why don't I just implement SMS consistently as a real marketing channel and not just something I do when I low key need a deal. So once I switched and shifted that some of that marketing budget towards SMS, I saw more and more traction, and it's easier. It's easier to control. Like I said earlier, what we do is we communicate with our guys via Slack, and they will they have like, so it's pretty systematic. They say this, you say this, so on and so forth. If they say something that does not fit this, you can modify it to a degree. But if it's just something that you can't modify in one of the quick replies, you send us a screenshot. We'll let you know what to say. And if the conversation continues and you get a number and they say you want to come check it out, tell them I'm 30 minutes away, you know? So it's quicker and there's so much visibility because, you know, a lot of my experience with cold callers, it was like the understanding of like sarcasm and just some of the leads just didn't make sense and the information that was on the lead was inaccurate. But our agents, they copy the text message thread, put them in the CRM. So everything is plain as day. I know what their expectations are, what they're thinking, what price they want, if they want ghosts, so on and so forth. So now I can formulate like an acquisition strategy when I'm calling this person.
Yeah. So it sounds like just there you've mentioned CRM, you've mentioned
Mm-hmm.
you cold calling, going to your own to outsourcing to other cold callers. And the main thing
Mm-hmm.
I noticed there that a lot of educators and coaches and that real there's a couple of different methods, but you went with the method. I'm really going to focus on one marketing channel, and I'm going to really smash it out of the park. So the text
Mm-hmm.
messaging, you amp that up instead of doing three or four different things. You really focused on one, did you? That was your main
Mm-hmm.
focus, and that's where you started getting results because once again you weren't all over the place. So
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like at this point you've really systemized and outsourced stuff, which has freed you up to do to work on your business and do other things. So with that
Mm-hmm.
time, did you become more focused on the marketing and I know you big on dispositions and moving deals. Were they the areas that you went into from there? So that once you delegated a bit of the stuff and automated a bit of the stuff, were they the main areas that you started working in as a business owner?
So I'll say as of now, what I'm doing is that free time I'm putting it into like learning business processing, business process mapping and notation in order to have at a third rate level, you can understand what to do if you run into any issue, there's a run book, there's a play by play. You know what to do. There, it's simple. Um,
Yeah.
like from putting it on Lucid charts with hyperlinks and all that jazz to actually having a very long document that gives you everything you need plus some videos as resources. When I quasi did that with marketing, I noticed that's when my time was truly freed up and more so they I feel like it didn't rely on me,
Hmm.
because when you're trying to send out texts, make calls, get a deal sold, take a deal to get a deal to the closing table, all in the same day, it's like by 8 o'clock at night, you're like, what happened today? So so I don't feel that way
Absolutely.
anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy where I am, and I'm glad to be growing. I can
Yeah.
tell you much.
Yeah. So obviously, you love the marketing, but
Mhm,
you've been able to even delegate a lot of that marketing, haven't you? So that
mhm,
frees up your time. Is it the
mhm.
same with dispositions? Did you set that
No,
up yourself and then start delegating, or
no,
you do
no.
dispositions?
I'm doing dispositions. I'm not at that point. Um,
Yep.
I'll be happy when I am, but I'm not at that point yet to feel comfortable to do that because I don't have a single like real dispositions process built out. That's
Yeah.
something
Yep.
that's going to be one of my steps. That's what I'm going to work on once I have acquisitions fully automated. Well, acquisitions and TC fully automated. I have a TC right now, and she's learning pretty well. She's catching on pretty quickly. I feel like that department still needs some more. I still need to build a few more KPIs and a few more processes, so she doesn't have to call me when she runs into an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess because you do work in predominantly in your own market, you've built
Mhm,
personal connections with a
mhm.
lot of people, haven't you, on all
Yeah,
aspects of your
yeah.
business. So, and you need to build that up to a point where you can slowly introduce someone,
Mhm.
because you don't want to lose those personal connections, especially buyers that
Absolutely.
trust you, know you, you're the face. It takes a
Mhm,
while to you know transition that across. So, yeah, that's a great insight because, like, you started off with driving for dollars app. And I
mhm,
mean, look at where we're at now. And this has happened
mhm,
from 2019 to it's 2023. That's with COVID in the middle, like 2 years of COVID
mhm,
in the middle. And you've been able to go from that stage to where you're at. And like you said,
mhm,
you you've learnt sales, you've done sales training. I know you've done a lot
mhm,
of like we're in a couple of Facebook groups, and I've seen. I think it was the Superhuman Wholesaler. You were doing a
mhm,
bit of stuff in there, and it was showing all the stuff that you were learning and all the stuff you're doing.
mhm,
So pretty much that shows someone that's watching that's new or fairly new how long it's going to take and how to slowly transition it from writing stuff on a bit of paper. Now you've got automated CRMs. From
mhm,
doing everything yourself, you've been able to delegate and automate to people. So that's pretty
mhm,
much the process that you've got to now. And now you're spending more of your time really focusing on strategies and
mhm,
next level stuff. So that's awesome. I mean, that's you've gone from grinding, out there grinding and hustling to being a legitimate business owner now. So that's within a
mhm,
3 year period. So that shows people that if you stick at it, you can you can build and scale pretty quickly. Now, what
mhm,
let's just cover the obstacles. What were the toughest things across that 3 years as you were scaling? What did you find personally
mhm.
were the toughest things for you?
Hmm. Number one would be mindset. Number two would be leadership. And number three would be documenting systems and processes backslash tracking KPIs.
Yep. So that last number three is basically putting those systems into place, the data so that you can actually get someone else to
Mhm.
come in and duplicate what you've been doing so that you can free yourself up.
Mhm.
So you're going through your business doing that, freeing yourself up, doing the
Mhm.
next part, free. Yep. Okay. And
Mhm.
mindset. Well, I know you do a lot of work on your mindset. You're a very healthy guy.
Mhm.
You do weights. You're pretty physical, and you're about the mind. So, um,
Mhm.
you've probably followed a lot of routines and stuff. You've got success habits that you got in place, morning rituals. You've probably got all that stuff in place as well. Um,
Mhm.
so, what number two? Explain number two. Like, why was that difficult? What was the situation there? Why did you find that difficult?
I am so stubborn.
no,
Um, that's one issue. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just going to say, like, because leadership is a hard thing. I mean, if you haven't been a leader
Mhm.
before and it's foreign territory, um,
Mhm.
we've all got different personality traits. So that's why I want you to sort of go into what you found hard about stepping into that leadership role once you started
Mhm.
working with having other people come into your business. You know, like
Mhm.
that is a huge issue for people that haven't
Mhm.
been in leadership roles, before in business. So yeah, just
Mhm.
yeah, s- just share your thoughts with us about the struggles you had with that and the struggles that that people that are starting off will have when they start scaling.
So I would say one of my number one things was first. Yeah, this is my number one thing. Getting reacting versus like responding in a nurturing way when things were not going good, you know. And I
In other words,
definitely,
you'd
I
lose it.
definitely,
You'd lose it. You'd
I
spin out of
wouldn't.
control and lose it.
I was so passive aggressive. I was so passive aggressive.
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
I think, yeah, because I didn't want to come off like a butthead, but
Yeah.
I I feel like I came off as a butthead, but subtly, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
uh,
that basically that would have taught you a bit of humility,
mm,
wouldn't it? Would have taught you a bit of humility
absolutely,
over a period of time. I mean, I
absolutely.
find you as a pretty humble guy anyway, but once again in the pressure of battle, it changes a person, doesn't
Mm,
it? It pushes
mm,
buttons that you buried many years ago. So it's like
mm,
competitive sports, combative sports. It pushes buttons and things don't go right. So although you're fairly humble, it would have been a humbling experience to realize that yourself. Like, wow, I'm being a bit of a butthead. Like you said,
mm,
I'm being a bit passive aggressive. So you've had some self
mm.
reflection, and that would have come from your mindset work
Mm.
because you do put a lot of time into yourself. And you know, tell us about that. Tell us about the humbling thing. Was it a few pennies started dropping, and you went, right, I've got to do this differently now. This isn't working.
Yeah, man. So I switched like SMS platforms, like in the middle. Like I had a great system built out. I was working on batch. I had switched to launch control. Didn't have any type of system process built out. And I was like, we're gonna build that on the fly because I got this great vision for it. And making that transition was not only frustrating for me, but it was frustrating for the team. I took my frustration out on them. So that was the issue. And like when it wasn't chips that failed, it was the best person I ever had, like doing SMS. He not only did SMS, but he was documenting processes. This dude was a rock star. And when he quit, I cried. Oh no,
Yeah,
not Marvin, God. I was like, this sucks. Cause he was such an asset. Like, cause
yeah,
I hate totally hate building out systems and processes. I hate typing, hate the creating lucid charts.
yeah,
I like it now. At that point in time, I did hate it. Um, but so I wouldn't do it, and he did it, and he was like getting me all these good leads. I was closing. Like I had 3 people at the time doing marketing, 80% of the deals. So when he
yep,
quit, I was like, this sucks. So like that really hit home. That's what makes that leadership component like my second biggest obstacle, because if I'd had the right mindset in the beginning, I wouldn't have had that issue with leadership.
And looking back now, I mean, you can talk about it
Mm,
now. You're not going to break into
mm.
tears. At the time, you said it was the end of the world
Yeah,
sort of thing. Like, oh, what have I done?
yeah,
But now looking
mm.
back on it, what, what have you learnt from that? Like, how will you do that differently now with your staff moving forward? What technique would you use now if there's things blow up and there's problems? What would you do differently now?
So what I would do differently now is I'm going to be more. I'm going to respond versus react. I'm going to be more
Yep.
active in my approach, and I'm going to set up, processes prior to rolling out a vision and action steps. Because without that, you're not like whoever I want doing the thing, they're probably not going to do it the way I intended for it to be done. So I don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah.
So having those guide rails and that roadmap is going to eliminate that, and approaching my my team from like a platitude. Because honestly, without them, it's not gonna happen. I kind of need them. You know what I mean? Like not kind of. I like because I like do gratitude journaling in the morning. Um, Probably 5, 6 times out the month. It's like one of my things I'm grateful for. Like I am grateful I have this person on my team. You know,
Yeah.
so.
Yep. So you've really taken the learning lessons out of it, and you're moving that forward. And
Mm,
that's all you can do, really, isn't it? Look,
mm,
I'll just cut in there for a minute. We've got some people in the chat. Nick said, "Wow, 38 deals." He said he's got a graph of going up. He's done an emoji
right.
there. Warren C, my Aussie mate, is watching, so shout out to Warren C. And Nathan Payne, real estate Nate, who's done a road trip down to Arizona and been on a few podcasts down there and is heading back. He's done a let's go. So thanks for the encouragement, guys. And once again, all these guys are very similar stories. They started off grinding, hustling, and they've built their businesses up to good businesses. So, I know that's why I brought you in, because I know a lot of people are in that middle stage, that transition stage to go next level. And just even what you've said then, Jeffrey, like, one of your greatest assets, and it takes a while to understand this, is people, is good people.
Mm,
And sometimes, like
mm,
you said, like in the heat of battle, eh, you're stressed out. You're not running
mm,
100%. Like you're not focused. You've got so much,
mm,
and then that can cause problems within your staff. So now, what you've done is you've learned from that and said, right, this is what I've got to put into place. I can't react anymore. I've got to respond.
mm.
And that's how you learn and grow. So from here, the question is, what's the vision moving forward? Give me the vision for the next sort of year or 2 years to go to that next level, to the level that I guess when we all start, we want to get to that next level,
Mm.
to that level where we're basically entrepreneurs and have a business and have a lifestyle of a bit more freedom and a bit more income. So, what's your vision moving forward, Jeffrey?
Man, so my vision for next year is essentially not recreating the wheel, but re-implementing what I have, the stronghold in Memphis and other markets, and having like giving one acquisitions person on my team just to
Yep.
solely focus on the new leads coming in, because we're on average at least like 18 leads a day. So I want to increase marketing, get that up to about 35 per day. We'll split that up evenly. And heck, if they can do 80% of what I'm doing, primarily in Memphis and like another market, a higher price market, I think next year will be a phenomenal. I don't think I know next year will be a phenomenal year.
Yeah. Yeah. So to scale more and basically do what you've been doing is build the system, have someone in
Mm-hmm.
there move, and you want
Mm-hmm.
to do that right across
Mm-hmm.
every aspect of your business, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's cool. Another what I want to do is also do a shout out for not just people that are watching, but people that will watch the replay. Is reach out to Jeffrey in Memphis. He knows the place like the back of his hand. That's his market. If you're in virtual markets and you're doing stuff in Memphis, reach out. Jeffrey's happy to do dispositions for people on the ground and work with people from other states that are maybe just sort of getting deals and going, oh, what do I do with them now? So just reach out to him because it's always good to have people at ground zero who know the market, who know what they're doing, and especially have got good buyers list built up. So reach out to him. We'll just when we finish up, we'll just do a quick plug. We're going to finish in a couple of minutes, Jeffrey. So I'll get you to give us some contact points so that people can reach out to you. But Memphis is a changing market. It's becoming a bit more. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people are flooding in there now because it's a lot of people are doing buying holds and stuff like that now in sort of more the working class cities now. So as far as Tennessee, you do a little bit in other areas, but it's mainly Memphis, isn't it? You don't,
Mm-hmm.
like obviously if something comes up in Nashville, Knoxville, and that you do that, but Memphis is predominantly your market. Um, how long did it take, like, to get? I mean, I know you live there, but how long did it take to build up buyers, to build all that systems up in Memphis, in the city, to to
Mm-hmm.
to know the city like the back of your hand? Because there's not. I mean, if you're from a city, I mean, I can tell you
I
Melbourne
mean,
like the back of my hand.
honestly, it wasn't me. Like this was what I don't know how how early into it was. It was I was probably doing this for maybe 6 months. I met this dude named James Jones, and he gave me a buyer's list. After that, I've sourced new buyers. He had so long. He's condensed it down to the most active, consistent, and the people who tend to at nice price for properties. So that changed everything. That changed the game. And now because I implement some other stuff too, because not everyone buys in certain locations. So sometimes I have to go to the tax assessor, just see who's buying over there, skip trace, and just reach out to them. But that, I think, I can't even credit it to say like it was me. Really, it was two people. First, it was James when I didn't understand dispositions, and he gave me that buyer's list and helped me out as far as like teaching me negotiations and stuff like that. And then also, I'm in Terry Thayer's mentorship. Terry was like, so you get a deal, do this, do that, and then this, and it's gonna be sold. And
Yep.
man, implementing that changed the game. Like when I implemented it, the tweet Terry told me to make,
Yeah.
that changed the game because I can sell houses as long as the numbers actually make sense. I can get
Yep.
them gone quickly. Like I just closed one in 10 days.
Well, you've just hit us at the end of the podcast. You've hit us with
Mhm.
some Thunderbolts. We don't call them gold nuggets; they're Thunderbolts here. Jeffrey, you've hit us, and there's two in there. I'll leave
Mhm.
the really good one that I think's amazing what you just said. But the first one is building relationships and finding people that are further down the track and
Mhm.
reaching out to them. You got to find a network and like-minded people to keep it so you stay in the fire. You don't sort of drift
Mhm.
off, and then you need to find people that are further advanced than you and stick to
Mhm.
them and hang around with them. Um, the one I really like about that, it pricks something in my memory from a podcast I saw about a year ago. You can actually go out and buy buyers lists and that off people, like wholesalers and that.
Mhm.
If you get in networks and you say, look, I know you're in this market. I know people are very protective of their buyers list. Could I
Mhm.
buy that off you? And that can fast track
Mhm.
you. And that's something where people say, I haven't got the resources, but I've got the resourcefulness. So you've gone out and done
Mm-hmm.
that, and you've just attested to that fast tracked your business. So that was money. Well, I mean, I'm not sure if you paid for it or whatever. You don't
No,
need,
no. He
but
just gave it to me. He
so that's
gave it to me.
amazing.
Like dude's a go-getter. Like he's
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, like without James, I
yeah,
wouldn't have made as much money as I've made so far. So
yeah,
I
yeah. So
dude's helped out tremendously.
that's personal relations again. So
Yeah.
there's some real thunderbolts in there, and I appreciate you sharing those. Now, I was going to go into a bit of because I know you're into mindset and habits. I know you hit the gym. I saw some of your Facebook
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and I thought I was looking at Arnie. You were getting pretty big at one stage. So I remember having a bit of a joke with you about that, saying, "Mate, you're not going to fit through the doorway if you keep going." But but that's important to you, isn't it? Your mindset, your physical health.
Mhm.
You believe that helps you run at 100% rather than,
Mhm.
especially when you're stressed. You probably use the gym as a bit
Mhm.
of a stress relief. You're a bit stressed
Mhm.
out, so that's important to you. Just run us through your success habits or your routines that you follow, just personally yourself.
I mean, so in the morning, it's just going to be waking up. It's going to be putting something fruitful in my mind. Like that's like one of the first things I'm doing, whether that's a podcast or a book that I'm currently listening to. And then after that, I'm going to just get myself together. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to journal. I do like a 3 by 3 kind of thing where I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for, 3 intentions for the day, and 3 affirmations. And then after that, this is business. I read my advisor Monday through Saturday, basically, and then I look at my KPIs. And are the things that I'm currently doing now and have done in the past, well, in this current quarter, lining up with my quarterly rocks, and make tweaks from there. Then after that, it's morning meeting with my team, figuring out, okay, what are we grateful for? Um, what did we produce yesterday? What are our goals for today? And let's do some sort of training so we can get better. Because one of our core values is growth, just growing 1% every day, and just so we can be 1% better, just the compound effects. Um,
Yep.
then after that, probably gonna get stressed out at some point in time. I gotta go to the gym.
Right.
Yeah, so then it's just reviewing the day at the end of the day. Like after I've been smacked with 20 issues and came up with 19 solutions, probably still got one I'm still thinking about, trying to figure it out, and just reviewing my day, seeing where I went wrong, seeing what I can do better, and seeing what I've done good. Just having those consistent deposits of success, to
Mm.
condition my mind for that.
Yeah, so that's awesome. You've gone from hustler
Mhm.
grinder to a well-oiled machine, haven't you? Because you've put all this
Mhm.
stuff in place and you've done the hard yards over a 3-year period. So, no, thanks for coming in, Jeffrey, and
Mhm.
sharing this with us because it is so good for, especially for newer people,
Mhm.
to be able to hear this and to be able to hear if at the start if things go wrong, just keep persisting and just keep getting better,
Mhm.
keep putting time in.
Yeah.
Um, once
I
again,
mean, but I think also with that there has to be like some sort of knowledge acquired and in tandem with what you said earlier, like the people, because without the people, it's not going to happen. And sometimes it's hard to find people in your market, or you're more comfortable on a Zoom call. Like I know for myself, I've taken numerous gang of courses, and like I'm in Terry Thayer's mentorship, and I'm not gonna lie, that's the only reason why my business is systematized, because of
yeah,
Terry. Without him, it'd just be a hodgepodge of stuff going on.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So what's the old saying? It's not. It's not. Is it not what? It's who. Is that what you? Well, it's not
Hmm.
how. It's who. So it's not
Hmm.
how I'm going to do
Yeah,
this. It's
yeah.
who I'm going to. Because
Hmm.
that's generally
Yeah,
where
yeah. The who,
a
not
lot of the
how.
answers come
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
Is someone with
yeah.
knowledge. You just got to ask the right person.
Hmm.
But all right,
Hmm.
I'll just get you to do a shout out. If people want to reach out to you and want to work with you in Memphis, what's the best way to reach out? Is it on Facebook or how do they reach out to you?
So either Facebook or yeah, really Facebook is going to be the quickest way because
Yep.
Messenger, the app's right on my phone.
So
Don't really go on
yeah,
Instagram, so
yeah. Just keep it simple. So go to on the
mm.
screen. You've got go to Jeffrey League, and you'll see a picture of that handsome guy there. And bang, friend request him. Send him a message. Say I saw you on the Thunder from Down Under. I'd like to talk to you about whether we're fit for each other. Blah blah blah. And yeah, he's a great guy. I can attest to that. He's a great guy, very humble guy, and he's done some great things in Tennessee, but in the Memphis market. So thanks for coming on and sharing that stuff with us. I really appreciate it. And just before we switch off, you're on when I'm doing a special announcement. We have now got our official podcast, the Thunder from Down Under podcast sponsor. We've got a sponsor program now, and that is Dream Big Digital Products. So I'll be putting some stuff up in the next couple of podcasts on the screen. So if you want to reach out, that's for all your websites, all your social media, all that sort of stuff, blogging, all that stuff, and more. So I'll go into that, but I just wanted to announce it today. So keep an eye out for Dream Big Digital Products. Maybe even Google it and check it out. Great people down there. They've helped me, hugely in my business. And like I said, go to the thunderfromdownunderpodcast.com from now on. Everything's on there. You can go to the YouTube channel. You can do everything from there. So, Jeffrey, once again, awesome to have you on. Awesome to catch up. And when I come out next year, I'm going to hit the gym with you. I need to get in shape. I'll get you. Get me in the gym. You can show me around Memphis. Take me down to Graceland and a few of the sites, and be good to come in the office with you and do some calling or something, and get down to basics. But look, it's a great story, and that's why I want to get you in, because you've really gone. The old saying, you've gone from zero to hero. You've gone from ground zero to someone that's got a really good functioning business. So thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. And guys, because Jeffrey League's been on and shared his story with us, you guys have been thunderstruck. All right, guys. Catch you later.